Hey there, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast, the show that's all about helping photographers just like you build a thriving business without sacrificing your sanity. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a former teacher turned full-time photographer and marketing coach, here to fill your earbuds each week with practical tips, real-life stories, and a whole lot of encouragement. So if you're ready to dive in, let's get to it because this girl means business. Hey friend, and welcome back to the Girl Means Business podcast. I am coming off of one of the most relaxing weekends I've had in a very long time, but it was so needed and so amazing. Two of my best friends and I, we headed off to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. We rented a house and we spent Thursday night. We got there Thursday night. We stayed till Sunday. So we spent the whole time just doing absolutely nothing. And it was wonderful. We went on one little hike. We read books. We ate charcuterie snacks and we played card games and we just talked and we sat in the hot tub and we just enjoyed the quiet. And the best part about it was that there was no judgment. If you wanted to go take a nap for 2 hours, go take a nap. If you want to sit on the back porch and read forever all afternoon, go do it. If you want to open a bottle of wine at 10 in the morning, by all means do it. There was no judgment. There was no plan. There was no we're all have to do these things. It was just relaxing. And the best part about it is that we got to have uninterrupted conversations, which when you are women who have kids, that doesn't happen very often. And most of the time when these friends and I get together, we are with our kids and with our spouses. And so it's just kind of, you start conversations, but you never actually get to finish them. And so we got to actually start and finish multiple conversations, which was really nice. And one of the things we talked about at one point was just the idea of supporting other women, being there for each other, but also being there for other people in our lives. And I have 2 daughters. Both of my friends have boys, but just talking a little bit about how girls these days are, at least I see it in my own kids, they're so supportive of their friends and they're very much you do what makes you happy and I'll do what makes me happy. And we're just going to cheer each other on. And I've always loved that. And I love being that person for other women. It's why I do this podcast. It's why I have the business that I have, because I want to help women succeed. I am the type of person that if I see you and you have spinach in your teeth, I'm going to tell you, because I'm not going to let you go through life with spinach in your teeth. And the same goes for your business. If there are things that you are doing in your business that are ultimately not good for your business or it's harming your business, I want to tell you. And that's what this episode is all about. I'm going to share with you 8 things that I see photographers doing that are making you look unprofessional and could actually be turning clients away from your business. Now, most of the time, these are things that you're not doing intentionally. They're things that are happening because either you don't realize it's turning clients away, you haven't spent time focusing on this one thing in your business, or you've been told to do this, or you've seen other people doing it, and so you're trying it as well. You're not doing it because you intentionally want to be perceived in a certain way. So we're going to break down what these 8 things are and how to fix them in your business so that you no longer are repelling clients when you don't want to. Okay, so the first one. This is one that is actually one of my pet peeves when it comes to the photography space. And I haven't seen it as much lately, but it was a really popular trend kind of going around for a while, especially during the holiday season or during the height of mini sessions. So early to mid spring, it is sharing your editing queue online. Now, where I typically see this is photographers will post this to their Instagram stories or even on a Facebook group page. And they'll show how many, who's in line when for editing. They'll say Jones family, Smith family, Pearson family, whatever. They'll list them in order. And I understand that the reasoning behind this is that you are wanting to let your clients know hey, I've got a lot of sessions. I'm in the thick of editing. I promise I'm going to get to as quick as I can. The problem is what you're actually doing is you're making your clients feel like they are just a name on a list. And if I am the family that's at the very bottom of your editing list, I'm going to be well, that sucks. how do I like that makes me feel like crap. Like I don't want my clients to ever feel like they're A, a name on my list, or B, at the bottom of my list. And so for that reason, sharing things like your editing queue or the list of like, here's who I have coming up for sessions, or I'm all for like share bits and pieces of that in a way, but don't do it in a way that makes your clients feel like they are just a name or a number in your list of things to do or things to work on. So that's the first one. And again, like I don't see that one as much, but it's kind of the thing that had set all this idea off in my head of like, what are the things people are doing that are sort of turning clients away? And I know from a fact, I've talked to people who's have hired photographers that have done these things or have done the editing list. It's like, okay, I just did all of my spring mini sessions. Here's my list of who I'm editing and when. And she was like, I mean, that kind of makes me feel like I'm not important. And I now see that like I'm just one of like 20 families that she's, nobody wants to feel, they may know that they're not your only client, but nobody wants to feel like they're not your only client. So that's number one. So let's just kind of eliminate that from the things that we're doing. Number two is one that I have seen a lot of photographers do, and I really want to fix this for all of us because it's not helping anybody. And that is being extremely vague when it comes to talking about what it is that you actually do. This in particular is where I see mistakes being made either on your social media bio or on your website. Now, what I mean by vague is that if your website says something like as a tagline or a header, capturing your forever moments or timeless memories, I don't know, timeless memories, like those are so vague. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but what do you actually do? Like, what do you specialize in? And I'm not saying you have to specialize. I do believe that like that helps and it's great for marketing. But if you don't want to specialize, you don't want to niche down, that's fine. It's completely your choice. But you do need to be very specific in something because people want to hire somebody that they feel like is good at what they do. And if you're vague, then your clients don't know what to expect. And then you become kind of this like vanilla version of a photographer when they're looking for something that's like confetti birthday cake. They want something that's a little bit more unique and special and that they know that they will have a connection to and that they know that they can feel like sees who they are. So an example of how you might fix this is let's say that you are a wedding photographer, but you really love like the crazy off the wall, unique, special, I'm trying to think of the right word, like non-traditional. Let me put it that way. You like non-traditional weddings, okay? You are not someone who like loves the idea of a big ballroom and all the fancy trimmings. You want a couple who is willing to like go bold, do something crazy, unique venues, fun ideas, like just throw caution to the wind and do something fun and creative. Then you want to showcase that on your website. You want to use the words that those brides are going to be using to describe their own wedding day. And if they see in your content, whether it's your social media bio or your website or your Facebook page or whatever, if they see something that they can resonate with, they're going to go, oh, this girl gets me. Like this photographer is going to understand my crazy ideas to wear like a purple veil. I don't know, something crazy. And so if you can set yourself apart by putting a little bit more specificity, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to totally jack that up. If you could be more specific in your wording as to who you're trying to target and the thing that you do best, then you are going to stand out amongst the masses. And if you're not sure, if you're like, okay, but I take pictures of families and my pictures are just kind of like traditional family photos, then lean into that. If you're a bold, bright, colorful senior photographer, lean into that. Speak to that. Use the words. This is where ChatGPT can come in handy. Like go in there and say, hey, here's my website. Help me come up with some keywords that are going to describe my photography style or my type of the business that I want to portray. And then see what comes up and see if you can find something that feels a little bit more like it actually describes your personality and the thing that you bring to your business that nobody else can, which is your own vision for things, your own take on things. So let's stop being vague and let's start getting a little bit more specific in who we're targeting and how we're targeting them using the wording and the branding in our business.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Let me ask you something. How many hours have you spent in your business stressing over social media, fighting with an algorithm, trying to keep up with the latest trends, and just posting for the sake of posting, only to feel like you're spinning your wheels and nobody's even paying attention? I've been there, and let me tell you, it is the worst. But I have a fun little secret for you. Did you know that you don't actually need social media to keep your calendar full? Now, I know that goes against everything all of the other quote unquote experts are telling you to do in your business, but I am living proof that you do not need social media to grow your photography business. I have been successfully staying booked solid in my photography business for the last 8 years with very minimal social media use. And I am excited to show you exactly what I've been doing inside of a private podcast series. The 7-day booking blueprint is 8 power-packed episodes that you can binge all at once or listen to at your own pace. Each episode is actionable and designed to help you book more clients without relying on social media. If you're hearing this ad right now, that means that you are a fan of the Girl Means Business podcast. Thank you, by the way. But if you've ever found yourself saying, man, I wish I could just dive even deeper. I wish I could have a one-on-one sit down with Kendra and really pick her brain about all the things that she's doing in her business, then this podcast series is going to give you everything you've been hoping for. It is so packed with so much information that you are going to walk away feeling like you have the exact roadmap you need to grow your photography business. So if you're ready to hop off that social media hamster wheel and actually start seeing results in your business and start filling up your calendar, head down to the show notes and grab the link so that you can start listening right away. Okay, number 3 kind of goes along this same idea, which is that a lot of times as photographers, we want to hide behind our artwork. We want to be the person behind the camera that's kind of this faceless, like, just look at my beautiful photos, don't worry about me. But because there are so many photographers out there, and there is social media kind of induced this, is that people want to connect with a brand as opposed to just the pretty pictures. They want to know that they're investing in someone that they can trust and they can rely on. And so if you're hiding who you are from your audience, then you could actually be turning people away because they don't feel that connection to you. So while we all don't necessarily want to be like the face, we don't want to dance on videos and we don't want to do all that kind of stuff, that's totally fine. Your clients and your audience still need to know who you are outside of just the pictures that you take. This could be something simple as like a little about me post every once in a while on social media with a fun photo, or some behind the scenes Instagram stories where you share about your dog or about your personal life. You can choose what it is that you share, but they need to know a little bit about who you are. A big piece of what draws my clients to me is that I'm a mom and I am in this phase of life where I'm kind of, my kids are school age and even getting into like upper school age, and I am like reclaiming kind of like my time again. And so I talk about that and I share about that, and my audience connects with that. And I don't have to necessarily give them all the details of my life, but I give them enough that they have something to connect with. They have that string that connects us. And so if you can start showing up in your business and sharing the little parts of yourself that will help you connect with your audience, whether it's that you love to read, or your favorite coffee order, or the weird like snack that you have to have while you're editing, or this crazy show you've seen 50 million times that's like a weird little niche show on Netflix, but you love to binge it while you're editing or on a lazy Sunday afternoon. Like, those are like little things that are not giving away too much about your personal life, that you don't feel like you're like putting everything out there, but it gives people enough to know like who you are and connect with you and feel like they can trust you. And unfortunately, this day and age with the internet, everybody's just looking for someone they can trust. And so if you're hiding behind just pretty photos, it's going to come across to potential clients as not necessarily a real person, a real business. And we want to present ourselves as a real business and give them the confidence that we are who we say that we are. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, share on your website, give a little behind the scenes information, a little bit of fun facts about you, about your family, your favorite places to travel, little things like that. And that just allows that extra little thread of connection with your potential clients. And as we talk about content, we're going to move into the next point that is helping you to look unprofessional or to potentially turn away your potential clients. And that is only posting your pretty polished finished photos. Again, marketing has changed. 15 years ago, posting beautiful photos on your website or the early days of social media would have gotten you a lot of attention. These days, it has to be more than that. And while I know that like we're all photographers for a reason, we love the photos and the artwork and the artistry behind creating the photos, whether it's the posing or the editing or the connection we create in the images, our clients are needing something more. And so this is where content comes in. This is where creating informational content, using your photos to also educate your audience, to build connection, to share behind the scenes, to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit on the process that you have, what it is that you do. And this is, again, going back to the idea of trust and connection. If all you're doing is posting those pretty photos and everything looks highly finished and polished, then it looks a little spammy online. People are going to start to question like, oh, am I going to get scammed here? Because it almost looks too perfect. Whereas if you're interspersing your content with educational advice, answering frequently asked questions, sharing funny behind the scenes moments or little outtakes and bloopers, or showing your editing process. Here's the before, here's the after. You don't even have to be the complete before. Like maybe you just do some basic retouching and then you show the completely after. But those little pieces of content go a long way with your potential clients. Again, it's all about building that trust. I know I keep coming back to that, but it is such a key thing. People have to trust that you are who you say you are and that you can actually provide what you say you're going to provide. And this day and age, with all the content that's out there, finding a way to intersperse your beautiful photos with education, with behind the scenes, with personal information or personal context. Those are the things that are going to help you build that trust, and your audience is going to love you for it even more. And you're also going to be answering questions before they can even ask them. And that says a lot too, because people will go, oh my gosh, she gets me. She's in my head. She knows that as a mom, I am so nervous that my kids aren't going to behave during a photo shoot. And here she has a whole blog post and a whole social media post about like why that's okay that your kids are a little crazy during a session, or why mini sessions might be a better choice for you. All of that can help really, really build that connection with your client, build that trust, and then they're more likely to want to book with you. Okay, next up. This is one that I learned this lesson on multiple times in my business because I would get someone who would inquire. We would go back and forth for a couple emails and then crickets. And I would take it so personally. And I would just be like, oh, I'm being ghosted again, or my prices were too high, or, whatever, all the different reasons why they probably didn't want to work with me. And then I was talking to a mentor friend at a conference one time, and I was kind of complaining about, I'm getting all these inquiries, but they're not turning into bookings. What's happening? And we went through my whole process. And she said, well, how often are you following up with them? And I was like, ooh, well, not really very often, if at all. She's like, well, there's your problem, because people are busy. Lives get busy. And how many times have you received an email or a text and meant to respond to it, and then something happens, you get distracted, or you are walking into work, or a friend, comes over to your desk at work and you get distracted, or your husband's talking to you, your kids interrupt you, all the things. And you forget to respond. And then a week or two goes by and you're like, oh yeah, I was going to respond to that and I totally forgot. Or they follow up with you and you go, oh yeah, I really wanted to do that. Don't be afraid to follow up. It is not that they are personally ghosting you. Their lives are busy. And if you follow up with someone, it's not going to sound pushy, It's not going to feel like you're pressuring them. It's just a simple, like, hey, I know life gets busy. I totally get it. I'm in the same boat. I just wanted to give you a little reminder. Like, if you're interested in booking that session, I still have your date available. Here's how you can book. And they'll probably either say, oh, thank you so much. We've decided to hold off for now, or whatever the response is. Hopefully it's, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I got busy and totally forgot. But yes, we definitely want to book. But if you don't follow up, you don't know. And so you could be losing clients because of a simple, you didn't send that email, you didn't send that follow-up reminder. So do not be afraid to follow up, because you never know what the real reason is that that person didn't respond. And most of the time, it's that they just got busy and forgot. So don't be afraid to follow up. Up next is making your booking process way too complex. Okay. People want simplicity. I've talked about this multiple times here on the podcast. If you are making your booking process way too crazy, too many steps, too many hoops to jump through, they're not going to do it. So the more you can simplify your process and make it as easy as possible for people to choose you and to hire you, the more likely they're going to actually do those things. And I'm not saying that you can't like have different packages they choose from, or that you have them book with you directly instead of on a booking page. You can do those things. You can add those personal touches. You just need to make sure that the information is being given in a really simple, easy to understand way, and that it's very clear what the next steps are. When people are left to figure things out for themselves, or they have to, go here and then click here and then enter their information here and then save this and then go back to this, it's too much. And in a world where we're already just kind of like, just tell me what to do. Like I make a million decisions in a day, and I've already made the decision to book with you. Just tell me what to do. And so if you can simplify that process, then you are going to make it so much easier for your clients to want to work with you. All right, last two. This one is a marketing one. And I've said this multiple times here on the podcast. It is roller coaster marketing. It is marketing when you are slow, but not when you're busy. And this is a common pitfall for a lot of photographers, especially ones who are not heavy on the marketing side. It's not your favorite thing to do, and I totally get that. Not everybody loves marketing the way I do. But if you are only marketing your business during your slow seasons, then you're creating bigger and higher dips and rises in your marketing for yourself. Because what happens is you market really hard when it gets slow. And that marketing starts to pay off and you start to get bookings, and then you slow down your marketing, which means you're going to end up in another dip, and then you're going to have to do all the marketing over again, which puts you into a high, which is where you're getting all the bookings. You stop marketing and so you dip again. If you can create systems that are going to help you market your business consistently, whether that is automating social media content, email marketing, blog content, whatever it is that you are working on to build that marketing in your business, then if you can do it consistently, batch it, schedule it out. If you know you have busy seasons, plan ahead. It's going to make a huge difference. It also is going to help you to stay top of mind with your clients. Because if you're only showing up, let's say email marketing, for example, if you are only showing up in their inbox once every 3 or 4 months with a, hey, book now, then they're going to feel like everything you send out is just this spammy sales pitch. And you don't want that. You want to build a marketing strategy that creates relationships, that creates connection. I know I've said that word a lot, but it really is like the driving force behind why people book with someone, is that connection. And so if your marketing is just hitting these high points 3 or 4 times a year, and all they're seeing is book now, bookings are open, come work with me, then they're going to feel like they're just being sold to. So if you can find a way to minimize the highs and lows, create consistent marketing, then you're going to show up as someone who's an authority. You're going to show up more top of mind. You're going to stay in their frame of reference. So whether they're looking for a photographer or someone they know is, then they're going to be like, oh, I know this great person. She, not only does she like obviously offer sessions, but she shares really cool blogs and really cool tips of things to do around town, or wedding planning tips, or whatever your niche is. And so having that, or eliminating that high and low marketing is really going to help you not only to feel more consistent and more connected, but you're just going to feel better and be more on top of your game, and you won't have as many of those low points in your business where you don't have bookings coming in. Okay, last but not least, this is one that I have done way too often in my business. And I've had people correct me on this a lot, and it's something I had to work on. And that is minimizing my business. So when I first started my photography business, I was also teaching full time. And it was really easy for me to minimize the fact that I was also running a business by saying, like, well, I also do a little bit of photography. So notice what I said there, a little bit of photography. Or I would say, yeah, I know, I'm just a photographer. Again, you're not just anything. And it's not just a little bit of photography. You are running a business. And if you want your business to be taken seriously, which is a big complaint I hear a lot of photographers make is, oh, everybody just thinks I'm just like a girl with a camera. Well, then you have to treat it like a business and you have to talk about it like it's a business. And so if you are minimizing what it is that you're doing, even if it's just in your circle of friends and family members, it could potentially be online or with your coworkers at work or your mom friends at the school or the daycare. Like you are putting out this projection that you just have this little side hobby. They're not going to take it seriously. So you have to start by correcting the way that you think and talk about your own business and treat it like a business. Because if you have done this, if you have put in the work to actually create a business, that's a big deal. And not everybody can do that. And not everybody can do that successfully. And you've done that. And that deserves all the praise and recognition, but it has to come from you first. And I don't mean that in like a braggy way. I just mean like you have to show your business the respect that you want other people to put into it. And if you start treating it like a business and talking about it like a business around your family and friends, and then around your clients specifically, they are going to take it more seriously and they are going to treat it like the business that it is as well. So that's a big one. Again, it's more of a mindset shift that's going to have to happen because, again, I've been there. I've struggled with this. And it really does take just time and practice of saying like, no, I have this business. I run this business. This is what I do. This is my career right now. Like, this is what I do. Like, it's not about making it small. And as women, we tend to want to make everything small. It's not a big deal. Like, it's just this little side thing that I'm doing. It's not. It's a bigger deal than we're giving ourselves credit for. And so if we want other people to give us that same value and credit, then we have to start with us first. Okay, so that is 8 things that you could be doing in your business that are potentially repelling potential clients. And so hopefully, you've found something in there that you can work on this week. That's my goal for you. My homework for you is if any of these things resonated with you and you're like, oh crap, I've actually been doing that, I should probably stop, then this is the week to work on that. Okay, pick one of them and start there. If you had 2 or 3 that you're like, oh yeah, that's me, then next week add one more, and then next week add one more. Don't tackle them all at one time unless you're just feeling really ambitious. You don't have to though. But that way you have something in your business you can work on. Some of these are just taking little tweaks and little things that you can change. And some of them are going to be things like the mindset piece that are going to take a little bit more time and practice. But I promise if you get some of these things in order, then you will start to see a shift in your business. It will start to, be more attractive to your ideal clients. You'll feel more confident in your business. And I fully believe that when you have confidence in your business and confidence in yourself, that everything else falls into place. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I would love, love, love for you to share this episode with a friend. Send it to her in text, put it on your Instagram stories, post it in a Facebook group, share it out in an email blast with everybody you know if you want. But sharing is caring. We all learned that in kindergarten. And I would love to get more listeners to the show. So if you found this episode helpful or any of my past episodes, I would love for you to share the love. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you back here next week, same time, same place.